Hi everyone. So this is the second step of the automation process. So in the last video, we created the opt-in email that's going to get automatically sent out to your subscriber list, right? Like to your opt-in list. So anybody that fills up a form that's saying they want your opt-in or your freebie, it gets sent out automatically to them. Then, as we discussed in the last video, we want to then, the next step is to build and nurture a relationship with these people. So I'm going to show you how to create that nurture sequence and attach it to the automation that we've already created. Okay, so the first step that we need to finish is we're going to go back into that automation that we created. Okay, so this one here. This is the one that we finished off. And then the first thing that we want to do is now this person, this contact is pretty much not categorized in any way. We basically grabbed their information from a form that was in the landing page, right? Waited 3 minutes, sent out the email, and now their contact information is somewhere over here. Okay, this is the next step. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a action that's going to ask the software to put them into a group, or in other words, a word that you might be familiar with is a list, a separate list that identifies them as our freebie down, or like a freebie customer or a freebie lead, right? So we're going to say action, and then we are going to create a list that is going to categorize them. Okay, so we're going to say select, choose an action, we're going to select, and we're going to say copy to group. If you've already categorized them into a group, then you can move the group, right? So for example, if this is a person that let's say, who has already purchased something, they're already on your freebie list, and you want to move them into an upsold list, then you can move group. But in this case, because we haven't categorized this person into any group, we're going to say copy to a group. And then it's going to ask us to select the group. Now, obviously, I've got tons of groups in here that I've created, but we're going to create a brand new group. So if you already have a group that you've created, you can pick from this select menu. But for this exercise, we're going to create a group. So we're going to call it a freebie opt-in list, and then I'm going to call it training. So for me, it's a reference that I need to delete this later on. Okay, so I'm going to say create. Okay, and then I'm going to say save. So basically what we've now done is we have told this particular automation that after this email is sent, this person's contact information needs to be moved from the general list to a specific list or a group that's called freebie opt-in list, right? I'm going to show you why that's relevant in the next session here. So the next step is we're going to go back into automation. Okay, I'm going to leave this open so that I can come back to it. But we're going to go back into automation. Now you're going to notice that this is actually paused, right? This is the one we were just editing. You want to make sure this is turned on and active, okay? Because if not, it's not going to work. Okay, just remember that if it's not active, it's not working. If there's some sort of an error, it will give you a error code saying, it's incomplete. The automation is incomplete and cannot be saved. Okay, that happens usually over on this step when you're trying to save it. Okay, so now we are going to hold on one second here. Let's close that out. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to create a new automation that's going to be just for the nurture sequence. Now you can, if you wanted to make it less complex, you could attach the nurture sequence right in here. But the reason I'm not doing it that way is because if I have the ability to reuse the nurture sequence with other freebies that I put up. So if you're putting more than one freebie, you can have that nurture sequence moving through for you a second time. So for example, another freebie might be your Facebook group. So everybody that joins your Facebook group you might be sending them a specific email welcoming them to the Facebook group. That is an automation you can set up as well. So I already have that set up inside of this for my group. Now, the difference between setting up a completely different automation for your nurture sequence and adding it to an existing automation is that you can then give multiple triggers into that automation. So you can have multiple freebie opt-ins or your Facebook group opt-in connected to that nurture sequence. Okay, now do keep in mind though that if you're creating a more of an authentic feel to it, it's better to have separate nurture sequences for separate lists. Okay, I'm just throwing that out there. Okay, so I'm going to create a separate workflow for this one. I'm going to say create workflow. And then I'm going to call this nurture sequence, and then I'm going to say training again so I can delete it later on, or I can identify it as something that is not an active campaign, right? Okay, so the next thing is we are going to let it know when to trigger this workflow, right? So the trigger is when subscriber joins a group, because if you remember, we told this automation at the last step to copy this person's information into the freebie opt-in list group. So here I'm going to say when subscriber joins this group, and I'm going to pick the group from here, freebie opt-in list, trigger this new workflow. Okay. Okay. No, I'm not going to repeat that. Okay. So now the workflow foundation is created, and we are then going to say what the delay is. So basically, when this one was created, we waited for 3 minutes, we sent this email. Now I want my first nurture email to go out 24 hours after this is delivered to their inbox. So the next day. So I'm going to put a delay in this first step saying wait, keep this person's contact information on this step for however many days or hours. So you can pick what the delay is, whether it's minutes, hours, days, weeks, months, specific time of the day. Now, when you're creating an automation like this, you don't necessarily use any of these, but these can be used, let's say, for example, if you're doing a challenge and you have specific days of the week that you're going live and you want to send them a reminder at a specific time, you can use these ones at the bottom here. Okay, so I'm going to say wait 1 day, or you can say wait 24 hours. Okay, and then I'm going to say save. So it's going to wait for 1 day before the first email is sent. And then I'm going to say email. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here. I've already highlighted my email. My first email is quite lengthy. It's a story. And if you look down here, the goal for this email, we talked about this in the previous video where I shared with you the email templates. My goal for this is to get them to respond to this email. Not even to join my Facebook group, it's to respond to the email. So I've created a story about who I am, why I'm doing this, why this is important to me. Then I'm giving them a option to see what is the most important and challenging for them that I can help them through. So I copy that, okay, and then I'm going to type my email. Okay, so type in your email name here, right? That's my email name. Hang on. Email name is only for internal use. It will not be visible. Oh, okay. I don't know what that is. Email name. Type your email. Okay, whatever. Oops. Nope. There we go. And then your subject line. So your subject line is going to be basically the content of this email. Now, I don't think I created a subject line when I... Okay, so I'm just going to use this, where it all began. Or where did it all begin? Where did it all begin? Okay. Who is it from? You want to put your name in there. Make sure that that is what is showing, not your business name. And then you want to put your responding email. That means the email that you want them to reply to. Okay, so I have a forwarding set up for this email so that anything that comes to this comes to my inbox. And then once you've done that, you are going to you're going to save, just to make sure. Okay, you're going to save. Now, obviously, we didn't put any content. The reason I save is because with MailerLite, if you go back and you lose the content when you go back, when you hit back. So if you accidentally close that, you're going to have to retype that. So I just like to save it before I go back in and put the content of the email. So I'm going to say design email. Okay, sorry, I'm going to go back here and copy this whole thing again. I guess I could pause this video while I'm doing this, but too late now. Okay, let's see. Go down, 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 down. I know it's fairly long, lengthy. I don't know. You guys tell me. Would you read an email this long from somebody who you just met? Good question. So something I will need to test out as I do this. But yes, this is my email. Okay, so now we are in this page. So where it took us is the email template, right? Now remember we created a training template, so you're going to select that. Okay. Or rather, you created your template. I created a training template. I just named it training because, again, for identification. So while that loads, we are going to basically, I could have totally copied the email text while that loaded. But again, too late now. Okay, so here we go. We are going to then click, oops. We're going to click on this this little area, this column or tile or whatever you want to call it. And then as soon as you click on it, it's going to open up the editing panel on the right side. And then you can just simply copy or delete that and paste your email. So font needs to be aligned. So I'm going to reduce the size to 812. And I think it's also bold, so maybe remove the bold highlight. And then, okay. So there you go. There's my first email. I'm going to say save. And then one thing you will need to do is you will need to edit this content. So again, click here. You want to click on the footer section in the unsubscribe link. And you want to say you are receiving this email because you signed up for our something freebie. Okay. Or free resource. Don't call it freebie. Free resource on, I don't know, something. whatever you are doing, whatever you're giving away. Okay, and then if you no longer want to hear from us, okay, take that out, and then you have the unsubscribe here button showing up at the bottom. So this is what you want it to look like, right? This is what you want it to look like. If you, yeah. So then once you do that, you say done editing. Okay. Now I didn't add, remember, notice I didn't add any links to it. I don't have anything pointing out of the email. So it's going to rank higher, hopefully for anti-spam, and it won't get caught in the spam. So now, actually here, the email name should actually be something like first Nuture email. Okay, that's what it should say, not your email address. Sorry about that. I was like, what is that? Okay, so there you go. Now you're going to add another delay. Okay, you're going to add another delay for one more day. All right, and then you're going to do your second email. Okay, so this is going to be your second Nuture email. I'm sorry, my kid is screaming in the background. I have no idea why. I have 4 other people upstairs, 3 other people that can take care of her, so I'm not going to rush off. Just, so you know I'm not neglecting my kid. Okay, so now this is going to be my second email. I honestly don't remember what the subject matter was, so I don't know if I'm going to have a proper subject. So again, my email is pretty long. Okay, so that's just something I'm coming up with on the fly. I'm going to save this. Then I'm going to go back to that step and then say design email. Again, same process, guys. You pick the template that we've already pre-created, select it, and then you're going to basically wait for it to load. Okay, so we have back. So I'm going to be, whoops, what am I doing here? I'm going to copy my email over here. Okay, same thing, paste. Looks good. I'm going to take this, make it smaller. I don't know why it's so big. Okay, and that is it. And then again, I'm going to edit this. Now, if you want, if you're creating a template specifically for your email template, go back for that freebie, go back to the template and edit the template, guys. Okay. The other thing you can do too is before you add the body, you can edit this. Okay, and then you can click actions and then say save as template and overwrite your template. Okay, so that's another thing you can do as well if you want to change out the template itself. Or you can just edit each time you're using it. Right? Okay, this is... Okay, and then save. I don't know what that is. I really don't know why that is there. Oh, because it's underlined. That's coding, guys. That's coding. So see, it underlines. So I need to take the underline out. There we go. So save. Okay. So there's your second email. You're going to say done editing. It's going to go back to the main workflow. Okay, so that's pretty much it, ladies. Like, you just basically follow this process. Any other emails you add a delay, you add an email, And then you don't actually copy this contact to any other lists. If you are setting a secondary automation for a different opt-in, okay, then what you do is you can give the trigger like up here, so that your person, that contact information is then copied over to a different list from the freebie list to your first level offer list, or whatever you decide to call that list, right? Okay, so once you're done this, the next thing you want to make sure that you do is turn the automation on. Again, if it's turned off, it's not going to work. Okay, so you want to make sure that this is turned on. So if you hover over this, it's going to show you how many emails are in this automation, and you turn it on. And always make sure you're testing your automations beforehand. So for testing purposes, one of the things you can do is you can go back into the edit workflow mode and change out the delay. You can change out the delay, or you can build it without the delays at all and then test out if it comes through. I like to keep the delays at like 2 minutes apart, so that when they come through my email, I can actually see that it's working in the order it should be, right? Instead of taking it out completely. But yes, for testing, you want to change the delay out because you don't want to wait 5 days to test your nurture sequence. You want to make sure that it's working, the emails are coming through properly, it's got the links in the right places, and so on and so forth. So do test them out before you launch them. Okay, hopefully this is valuable to you. If you have any questions, you know where to find me. All right, take care. Bye bye.